Scenario for how to add a product to basket. So one scenario, first scenario, you can add a product to the basket without login. For example, there is some user don't like to create an account, so we need to give them this option so they can add a product to their basket without to log in or creating an account. And also we have option for the user that has account, so they can add a product to their basket and they can log out and come back later in the future. So and then log in again, you can find your all data that in your basket. So we have the two scenarios today, and I'm going to show you how to we can actually use them. So first, let's start, for example, with the one that doesn't have account and don't like to log in or create an account. So we can just look for any one of this product here. For example, this hoodie, I like this hoodie. I can select mid-size and it needs 3 quantity and add this to the basket, and you see that the notification says is added successfully. You can click here to clear that notification or just wait for it, it will disappear. And I can add a different one, so with a different color and even different size, so to the basket, and then again that will show me successfully is added. So but for example, if this already with the same details, for example same color, same size and quantity, if I try to press again this one, I will see this error here to say this product is already added to the basket, so to prevent you not to add this again to the basket. So now if we navigate to the basket here, so we can see these 2 products that we added to our basket, and we can see the total price for these 2 items. So because the quantities of them is 6 and each one of them will have price is £40, so 6 multiplied by 40, which is 240. For example, if I change this one from the basket, I can change the quantity and also I can change the size. For example, if I change this to 1, automatically the price will drop down, and same I can change here the size to small, for example. And also I will be able to remove this product from the basket. I can just click here so that it will disappear. As I mentioned, this for the users that didn't have account or don't have account and don't like to create one. So next will be to check out. So this is our feature that we are going to implement next on the next tutorial. Next step for this user would just check out and finishing the process. But if they left the account or maybe just reloaded the browser, then you are going to lose your basket. And then here will tell you the basket is empty, go to shopping. To prevent this issue for all users, for example, users that like to have account and then that already have account or created account, then you need to press this login. I already created account with this user called Ali. So and then I can log in. I previously added some product to my basket. Until now, if you see the basket is 0, and if I navigate to there is empty. But if I log in, I should see my previous product that I added to my basket. So if now logged in, so that if you see that there is a 3 item on the basket, this is still the main page where we have the list of product. But if now you navigate to my basket, here is my all the baskets that I already added, and the total price is 210. So this is the 2 scenario for a user have account and user that doesn't have account. And again, if I tried, so still I will be able to remove this product, and also if I logged out, then my basket will just be disappeared. If I just logged out, nothing is here, so other user will not be able to access my OM basket. And as I mentioned, so after login, next step would be to implement this checkout process, so we can finish and go to payment step. So this is the 2 scenario for logged in user and user have account, and another user that doesn't have account and don't like to create account, so we'll still allow them to buy from our website. So let's just go directly to start build this project. Hello folks, welcome to Dwayne Tech channel. As you saw, this is a quick demo for the basket that we are going to build today, and in this following to the previous series of tutorial how to build e-commerce app using Strapi.io and React.js. If you didn't watch the previous tutorial, I will leave the playlist for the full this series of tutorial down of this video. I would recommend go back, try to watch the previous video and then following us here. And if you didn't subscribe until now, try to subscribe so you can get all new videos and tutorials, and try to press sum up and share the content with your friends, so to support the channel, allow me to continue to upload more content and more tutorials. So let's just go directly to start to build this basket feature. So this here version of the website, or this e-commerce website without the basket. As you see that we don't have that icon here for the basket. So let's come to our app here and let's open terminal. So before everything, we need to install React icon library. So we are going to use it for the basket. You need to open the terminal. For the client, just navigate to the client and then npm I react dash icons and then set dash save. So this to save it to your dependencies. So that is installed. So now we can see the changes is installed here. So React icons. So next, let's go directly to create a component for the basket. Inside this component folder, let's create a folder for basket, and inside let's just create index file, index.js, and let's create empty component for the basket. So now we have this dummy basket component. Let's just render it on the browser here, or let's create a root for it. So let's just duplicate this here. It's going to be /basket. This is going to be called basket component. So we'll do auto import. That is imported here. Need to make sure it is imported. Save. Now if I go to the browser and then browser here, let me just load the browser, and now if I did /basket, hit enter, so that it shows a basket component is empty. Now next step, we need to navigate to this from the header. Let's go to this custom nav component here. So this is where we are going to render the icon. So let me just import the icon. So after here, this icon is imported, and before this login, I'm going to use similar this component, and then I will add that here, and I'll call, instead of this, I'm going to add the component that we just imported, basket / close that component /basket. So this to go to the basket. And now if I just save that and go to the browser here, and you see that the baskets come here now. So as you saw also with the basket, we need to display the number of items that are added to the basket. So I'm going to add this span here. So this span is going to have a class name called basket items, and I'm going to pass this basket items as a props down to this component called custom navbar. And we are going to give also another class to this wrapper, so we can style later this a number of items that add to the basket. So just here the class name gonna be called basket icon wrapper. And then because this href, when we click on this icon, will refresh the page, and we need to prevent that to happen. We are going to change it to 2, called just 2, and we are going to pass a tag. So this nav link to be treated as a React router DOM link component. Component should be imported from React router DOM, which is this here. You need to import it, so it automatically is imported for me, but if it didn't for you, you need to import that one. If we save it, and now if we go to the browser again, and because we have a bug or we have error because this item here is not passed to this navbar, we need to go to the app here, and this navbar, this one for now just as is 0. Later we are going to modify this one. Since this doesn't like this link we added here, so because this link is going to be rendered outside the React router, so we need to go and bring this navbar inside the router. So if you see this navbar component now is outside, just let's move it down here inside, and if you go back to the browser, everything now is working. So we'll just close this one, and that now is just displaying 0. And as I mentioned, later we're going to add a style to move this 0 to top right. Let's also, just to make sure, updating this logout button inside this custom nav, so to as same as this basket. So instead of href to be 2, And before that, we are going to add a tag props, and this tag is going to just use the link React router component. So if this still should be work fine. Now if we need to go to login, so we'll be able to go to login, and now we can go back, and we need to move also this is logged in to app components so we can share it later with the basket. Instead of just using that or importing this here, we're going to move this code from this file to app here. So inside app, let's just add this one here. We can pass this is login as a props also to custom nav, and we need to import this one also same as we did here on custom nav, this here from helper, and come to the app and import that here. And the directory now is different, should be just /helpers. That's it. So now if we go back to the custom nav var, we'll expect this now to be as a props passed to this component. And now still if we reload the browser, everything work fine. And now if we go to the basket, come here. So next we need to build or improve our basket component. So we need to create, for example, if there is no any data to display the text and button to say your basket is empty, and go to the basket component inside the index here. So instead of this div, let's just return this React fragment, and inside this React fragment I'm going to create a div first here for the basket content as a basket content wrapper, and this div should just has a class name, call it basket. And after this class or after this div, I'm going to add this code here. So what this code basically will do, we'll check the basket if this basket has a data. Will do nothing. If this basket doesn't have a data, then we'll render this content here, which just to show this message to say basket is empty, and this button here navigate. And when you click on this button, then you navigate to the main page. So first we need to pass this basket as a props to this component. So this basket data, we're going to pass it down from app, so where we can share the local state. And this button, we need to import this button from React Strap, so that is doing it here automatically, and you need to make sure to import that one. And this navigate, basically we need to create this one, navigate. So we're gonna use navigate React router hook, and then that will be imported here. I need to make sure this is importing it here. So then that is now here. So this now it will just display, because this basket is not exist, and so we didn't create it, so it should just display this message. And this button here, button say go shopping. If you go to the browser is it's not rendering because this basket we didn't pass. We need to go and pass it from this app here. If you go to the basket, this basket here, let's pass it as a props for now. Just leave it the value for that basket to be empty square bracket. So now if we save and go to the browser again, so that is now showing the basket is empty, go shopping. And this now, as you see, this is not vertically centered because I need to add some CSS later for this class we just added here. This class we added called empty basket, and we are going to add some CSS later using this class name. So now if I just click on this shopping button, so it should take me to the main page. That boom, now on shopping page. So next we need also to display the total price inside this basket if there is some content. So before that we need, let's try to render some content and then try display the total price. And to display that content, first we need to get them, and inside this basket let's just create a custom hook, call it use basket. So this is where we are going to do the process to create the local state and also to save this data inside the API or the backend database. So inside this custom hook, we are going to just create this component or this custom hook function, and then would expect to return at the end of this, we need to return the basket itself. and as you see that's showing the error because we don't have that basket. We need to create a state for this basket and just call it basket, and the function this should be called set basket. The default value is going to be just empty square, and we need to import this use effect from or use state from React. So after importing this, we need to go and call this custom hook inside this app where we can share the basket data. So just here, let's call that const, and then open this curly braces to destructure the data. We need to import this custom hook, and then here we'll expect to get the basket that we just returned. And as you see, instead of this basket we pass it here to be empty square bracket, now we can add the basket. So basket data that, or the basket state, which we pass it from this custom hook here. So now if we go to the browser, it's still nothing, it will show nothing because we don't have that data. So next here we need to add to basket, for example, function. When you click, if you go to this page here and go to this single product view, when click on this icon, we need to create a function to update this local state with this product. So how we do that? Let's go back to the code here. So here, just after this state, we need to create a function, and this function should be called add to the basket. So I have some code here. I'm going to modify it and just explain this line by line. So this function here called add to the basket, and we'll expect this parameter ID, color, size, image URL, quantity, and attributes. So inside the attributes we'll have name, sizes, price, and category, description, and quantity. And I'm overriding this to be quantities, just I'm going to explain it later. So inside here I'm going to use try catch. So for later we are going to call the data from the API so we can catch any unexpected error down here, and inside try we can do the process for updating the state. So basically inside this try we are going to call this set basket, this one here, and then we are going to pass the initial basket that was already exist, and then adding the new product that we just clicked on, which is this data. We pass it here down, name, color, size, and so on, and for that we get it as a parameter down. And if this successfully added, we need to show the toast notification just to tell the user this added to your basket. So after this here we are going to add this toast, and this toast is just you are going to call toast library.success and then passing your message, and we need to import this toast. And I explained previously how to use toast on the previous tutorial, so if you didn't watch the previous one, recommend go back and so you can understand how we can use the toast. So if there is any error, then we are going to console log the error down here inside this catch. Otherwise, so if there is anything else, so we for now just ignore it. Let's save it and go to the browser, and let's try if we can actually add this to the basket. Also, actually we are not going to see anything else because we created the function and we didn't use it yet. So how to use this to basket function? We need to pass it down here. We need to return it at the end of this custom hook, and come to the app here. We need to import it with this basket here, and then we need to pass it down to this button. So if you see this button now, when you click here, nothing is happening. Basically we need to pass that function down to this button, and this button exists inside this preview component or product view component, and that which is here, and we need to pass it down here. So now we pass this function down. We need to go to this file, we need to import it here, and then add comma. So we import it down that now when we click the button, where's the button? Here is the button, add to basket. So we need to add on click function. So when you click, then you need to call this function we just passed down, and this function basically will expect the parameters that we mentioned earlier here. We'll expect this list of params, so this data, and so this data is going to be, if we go back to this file, so we have products. So if you see here, we have access to product. So this is a product, the actual product data, and we can spread that here. We can spread the product and description. So we can also get it from the attributes, and the description we can get it as a prompt also to this function here. Need to pass it down, and down here we need to go to the bottom, and this size will be selected size. All this is imported at the top here, so this data already imported from this use preview. So now we pass the required data, and this product is including the rest of the prompts that we need. So here, for example, this will include attributes, which include name, size, price, category, description, quantity. And now if we save it and go to the browser, and if we try to click here, so add basket is not a function. We should import this, should to be a props, so we don't need to import it from this custom hook. Let's just remove it from here. And now if you go to the browser and try click again, boom, successfully we have one product added to the basket. We still will not be able to see anything because we didn't render that here. So as you see, the message for empty basket is disappeared because we have now basket data. If you open the basket data or array, so now we have this one product. So next step, let's just create a cart to display this product. So if we go back here on this basket, let's create cart, just call it custom cart, and inside here let's just create a component. So inside this custom cart, I'm going to import this React Strap component. So this is the React Strap cart. So I'm going to use this React Strap cart and return. So we're going to use this one, and we need to add a class called just product cart, and inside here we're going to add a class, or to add a div with the class called just wrapper or image wrapper. So inside here, then in this image wrapper, we are going to display the image for the product, and which is here. So this image is imported here, and we'll pass this top, the image to be at the top of the card, and the size is 100 or the width 100, and then this is the image source. So this will be the local host. So for the server option is going to be 1337, but I changed my local one to be 1338. So you need to just keep to that one. And how to know that? So you need, after run the server, you should see the local one. So let me just open it. If you see, I'm already running the server here, showing that is here, this one, slash localhost 1338 slash admin. So this is where you can see your port number, and then here should display the name, and name is not exist because it's gonna be us as a props, and this is the image. And next, after the image, we need to just go outside the image wrapper, and then we need to add the body or the card body tag for this one, and just close it. And inside this card body, first we need to add the title, this card title, which will be this name. This name here passed as a props. We are going to use this component card title that we just imported from React Strap. And then after the card title, let's try to add the card subtitle, and this is going to be for to display sizes. So then we can update the sizes for this product in basket, so which is going to be this code. I'm going to explain it, just not try afraid. So this is subtitle component we imported from React Bootstrap, and then we'll pass down on click. When you click in sizes, just to stop to do any side effect. So because when you click on the whole card, should allow you to navigate to the product details view, and we need to stop that to happen when you click try to change the size, for example, inside the basket. And we'll explain that later more when displayed on the browser. And then we are use this form group, which also is coming from React Strap card, to display just this label and input, that where we display the sizes. And the default is going to be, or the value is going to be size, which we are going to pass it as a props to this function, or to this component function. And then we are going to call this on change, and we pass inside this on change, we are going to call update basket item. So we didn't create this yet, we are going to just disable it for now, just comment this out. And also we need to pass down sizes. So also sizes, we need to pass it as props to this function or component sizes. And next we need to add for quantity. So this again, we are going to use also car subtitle wrapper, and then to prevent to do any side effect when you try to update the quantity, and also form group, and we'll add this class called quantity, so we can add later some CSS for this one and just display this label. And the input where we'll have this value, the value default value will be passed also as a props, which is will be a product quantity that we selected on the product details view page. And then next basically we'll inside on chain we'll call this update item, which as I mentioned we didn't create yet, so we'll just comment that out for now. And then we need to initiate this variable, call it quantities array. So we need to create array of quantities, and that will be this one here, or just instead of this let me add this variable here. And this variable basically will create array of numbers out of these quantities, which we need to pass it down as a props. So quantities, for example, will be passed as a number, for example 5 or 10. If 10, then we'll create array of 10 indexes, and then we'll try to display that array of quantities down, and then we can select from. Now if we try save this one and go to the browser, nothing will happen because that card we didn't use yet. And if we reload the browser, because the car as a basket it will be empty, will display this content. Let's go back. We need next to use this cart component. Basically we can use it inside this basket here. So after inside this div, we are going to use React Strap grid, so to display, for example, 4 cards in a column. So to do that, so basically you need to start first to initiate the grid by adding the row component. We need to import that from React Strap and just close it. Inside this row we need to then add this code here for the column, first column. Then inside this row we need to add this code here, so we're going to explain this code. So this code basically will map over the basket here, this array of basket products, and then for each product will be passed inside this column. For example, this will have 3 column in mid size, and then we'll have the full size on the small screen. So this also is responsive. And then here this is just a key for React rendering performance. And then inside also this column we call this on click. When you click inside on that card, then it should allow you to navigate to product details page. We need to create this function, so which we can just do it here after this navigate. Let me just remove this one. And this is a function, basically very simple function. We'll expect a URL, then we'll pass that URL to navigate function to allow you to navigate to product details page. We need to import this column component called from React Strap, and we need to import the custom card component we just created. That is, so that's imported here. And then down we need to pass the product, which is this product here coming from the basket. And then this index down, so we need the index of that product, so later will allow us to remove this product from basket, and also the product ID. We need to pass this basket updated basket item and remove basket item to function that to update and remove a product. So for now we are going to just comment out this, and let's try go to the browser and see how this is look now. Still there is an issue, image URL is not defined, so that seems inside this custom car. Let's say image URL, let's add it here, and then comma, hit save, and that should be it. So now if you go to the basket the page here, let's try add the first product, add to the basket, successfully is added. Let's go to the basket, boom, now that our first product added to the basket. And so now if we try to update, nothing will happen. So because we need to add the update function, or before that, let's just add the checkout button that we saw it earlier at the bottom here. Let's go back to the code and go to the basket index. Just after this row, at the end of this, after this row, let's add that button. So just after here, I'm going to add this code. So again, this will check the basket. If there is a product inside the basket, then try show this button, otherwise just display null. So this is the button, and for now, when you click on the button, nothing will happen. So which is going to be the next tutorial to do the checkout. If we save this one and go to the browser, and now we have checkout button. As you see that now all of them are stick together. I'm gonna to add some CSS later, so to make it just look a bit nicer. As already added these classes, later we are going to add the CSS for them. So next, let's try add the remove function, which is the easiest update. So if you try open this one here, if you see, let's just enable this remove function, and we need to pass it down as a props. This is component, and let's go to this custom card, and we need to pass it down also as a props to the card. When you click inside this, or when you click remove button, so we need to add the remove button here, because it seems we forget to add that after the quantity. So just after the quantity here, closing tag for this subtitle, let me add this one here, and this is a button, and that button just small size, color danger, on click. When you click, it will stop to add any propagation, so to not allow the user to navigate to product details page, and it will call this remove from basket function, and we need to pass these parameters down to these functions. So these parameters, most of them is not imported. We need to import them as a props that down here. From we need to structuring them here just with these props, and automatically will be passed down from this card, this and basket index file as part of the product here. So now we need to go and create this function, this remove from basket. As you see that we pass it down to the basket, and this we are going to create it inside this use basket function. And just after this one here, I'm going to just create it here, and then that it. So this called remove from basket, and we'll expect this 3 parameter: index, product ID, and basket item ID. Basket item ID, we are going to use it when remove this from the backend database, which will be later next step, but for now we'll need all this index and product ID. And then inside here, I'm going to use try catch. As I mentioned, later we're going to use Axios to communicate with the API. If there is any failure, then we'll catch the error here. So inside this try, I need to add this code here. I'm going to also explain it. So first we need to remove the items that from we pass this index and product ID for from the basket. So we just basically filter the basket data to filter out this product and just keep the rest, and that's what it's doing here. And then we'll call this set basket function here to update the local state, which is this one here, to update it with the latest one. So that is created. We need to return this function called remove here at the end of this custom hook. Now we pass it down here, so we call this custom hook inside the app component. We need to import it. I need to import this function here so we can pass it down to the basket. So after this basket, we can pass this new function, and automatically we import it actually inside the function as a props, and we pass it down the custom to this custom card so we can use it there. If we save it, go to the browser, let's go shopping, add a product to the basket, and try go to the basket here, and then try to remove it. Boom, that is removing. And now even let's try add multiple one. So this one and this one, and let's try just go to the basket. This is now stopping me, and go to the basket. Now I can remove like one by one. Automatically is working and not mixing the product when we remove them. So next step, we need to update, basically to update this product when we add it to the basket. we need to update the quantity and we need to update the size. So if we come back again here, let's now undo this function called update basket item. We need to pass it down also as a props here with remove from basket. And also let's try go back to this custom card. Let's enable it. So as if you remember earlier, we just comment it out. And now this we enable this one. We need to import it at the top here as a props. And now that it. So we need to pass this data, and all this data already passed down to this component here, so we don't need to do anything else. So we need to create this function. We need to come to use basket hook here just before this remove. Let's create that function. So just here after this line, this update basket or update basket item, we'll expect these prompts, and inside here I'm going to use try catch. And as I mentioned, this is just to catch the error. And before that, actually inside this catch for this remove item, we need to just console log the error. If there is any error, just catch here. And same for this here catch, just console log this error. And inside try, where we can do the process to update the basket data. Again here we need to adjust this data. I'm going to explain it. This will be similar to when we remove the product from the basket. So basically what it is doing here to update the basket product, first we need to grab that product. We need to update by using the index of the product and product ID. If the same product, then try just spread the product or the item itself, and then try to update the color or the size or image URL or the quantity, so that we pass down here. And then if not equal, then just return that item, which will just at the end will return array of that basket, all the data with the updated product. And here at the end we'll call this set basket to pass down the new data we just updated. If we save this one and then try to just return this update product at the end here, or update basket item. And then also we need to import it at app with this remove from basket, and we need to pass it down also to the basket itself, so we can call it there. And inside the basket we import it already, and we pass it to the cart and we use it inside the cart. And now if we come here, let's try add a new product and add this to the basket, go basket, and let's try update the size. Boom, that's not working. Update the quantity. Boom, that's working. Let's see why the size is not working but the quantity is working. Okay, let's just take a look again. Update basket item, we need to pass same data we pass it here. We don't pass that all of it, so let's just replace this one. And this size is gonna be this new value, so we need to update the size to be the new value we just selected. And now if you go try again, promise medium, boom, that's working now. Large, and here we can create a difference. So now we can update the product quantity, and also we can update the size and that, and also we can remove it. So all the functionality is working now. And so we need, last one, we need to display this here number of the product added to the basket. So if we go back to the browser and try just go to this basket index, and inside basket index, after this, let's just create this variable here. What this variable will do, basically we'll go over the basket and then use the reduce. So we'll go over each item inside that basket. We'll use this initial accumulator, which will be 0, and then this is the actual item. And every time we'll try to multiply the item price by the item quantity, and then just try add that to the accumulator, which is 0. Every time we'll just increase that number. At the end will give us this total price, and that where we can display it just before here at the beginning of this. And just here at this one, and we'll check, just we need to make sure the basket data is exists, then try to display this h3 total price and this total price here, and now adding your currency sign. I'm using the sterling or pound, British pound. And if there is no basket inside the data, just render nothing. If we save it, go to the browser, and if you go to here, nothing, it will be displayed for the total price. But if I added any one of these products, let me add maybe just 3 of them, and just try go to the basket, and as you see that now the total price 75, and this one, each one of them price. Also, actually, we didn't display the price as inside this cart. Let's do that. We forgot to display it on the basket cart. If you go to the code and inside this custom card, and just before the removing button here, let's add this subtitle where we display this price, and the price will be passed down as props here. And as you see that price, and now if we save it, go to the browser, boom, that now is showing the price. And after adding the CSS, we'll just give this some more space and make it look a bit nicer. So as you see that each one of them is 25, the 3 is 75. If we update the quantity, automatically will update the total price. So that is over the cart, and next just this let's display the number of this item inside or on this header, so which should be happening inside the custom nav. But before that, we need to create that inside the app, so then pass it down to the custom nav. So this custom nav, let's add that here. Let's add a props, call it basket items, and this is going to be just the number of the basket, or the basket length dot length. And now if you go to this custom nav, let's expect the import that basket param props, just structure it here. Now that is displaying it here, so this already is imported, it's already added inside the props. Just if you go to the app and go to custom, so previously was just hard code is 0, so now should be automatically to display the item inside the item number inside this basket. So if we go to the browser, now should display it here because we need to add the CSS, but we don't see it. So let's try go and just add the CSS. I'm gonna actually copy and add the CSS, and you can go over it. So very easy and simple. So let's just go to the index.css. At the end of this index CSS, I'm going to add this one. Let's switch for the basket. This is the end, and this is the beginning. This is the beginning of the basket CSS, and until the end here. And also inside the nav, we need to add some this CSS for the nav just after this collapse, or just let's add it before it. And add this one for the nav bar to add the size, just update the brand size. And now if you go to the browser, you see that now we have a bigger size, so the number is not displayed here, but the styling is there. Let's try go and just make sure this item number is passed to nav bar, and let's wear the custom nav bar. Come to the app, and we don't see it here. This one, it was called basket item instead of basket items. If you go back again, that's displaying the number again. Ooh, that's nice. So now that is displaying the number of item is added. So if I remove this one, automatically will update it. So that is, so now we display the product inside the basket, and also we display the number of items that we added to the basket. And if I just reload the browser, boom, the basket will be empty. So we need to give to do the second option for a user that has account. So we need to create endpoint for the basket in our server, and then we can use that endpoint to update the database. So we need first go to our server here. So this is the server admin side will be look like this. You need to log in with the credentials that you created, log in, and then you need to come to the to this content type builder, we need to create a new content, which gonna be the basket. And this basket is gonna to have a name, and it's gonna have a description. It's gonna has a quantity, which is gonna be a number, and that's gonna be long integer, and it has gonna be have image URL is gonna be a text, and it's gonna have a color, also is gonna be a text, and size is gonna be string. Category ID is gonna be a number. Category ID for this product category ID, let's just add a little big integer. Need to add a product ID, which is gonna be also integer number. We're going to add also price, and also it's gonna be integer, big integer. We're going to add the quantity, is gonna be just a number, and this is gonna be big integer. Last one, sizes, and this is gonna be a JSON. So for sizes, for quantities, for now, just for this demo purpose of the demo, I'm saving the quantity on the basket. But for the real life application, I would recommend just to get the quantity from the product API instead of from the basket, so you can get the latest quantities. For example, if the user added a product to their basket today and come back tomorrow, maybe the quantity of this product is being updated, so it's better to get it from the API, not to save it inside the basket. But for now, just as a purpose of the demo, I'm going to just save it on the basket. So that should be it. I'm finished. So just need to make sure to save them before to click anything else. So this it will log out, and then need to log in again. Need to just use your credential and just hit OK. So that now is created. If you go to content manager, you should see your basket is added here. Now we need to go to the setting here. So we need to allow the authenticated user to be able to find all of this, actually to edit, delete, find. This is the authenticated user. So now we have the endpoint for this basket. So now if we go to this here, for example, endpoint, and then /API /basket should show me forbidden baskets regular. So that is forbidden because should be authenticated user to access this data. So now if I come back to my app and go to the code, so let's try go to this use basket function. Let's first start by when we add a new adding a new product here. And actually, before applying this, if you remember on the demo, I show you cannot add same product to the basket. So for example, if I added this one, and now if I click again, this will be added. We need to stop that to happen. If you see this already is added, same product added twice, you need to stop that to be happen. If you go to the basket, same product, and to stop that, we need to just add this function here. Let me go to the code, and inside this add to the basket, let me bring this here. And this function, what it will do, basically we check the product, and if this product already exists inside the basket, for example, if the product ID and product size and color, three of them matching the product inside the basket, and then try just return true, and then inside this try we can add a condition, say if this product it was not exist, then try do the next process, otherwise just let's display the toast notification. Before the toast, let's just move this one here, move this with the toast, three of these inside if the condition is true. Else let's try display toast say this product is already exists. So let's just add that here on else, say this already exists. Or before that, actually let's try move this try catch inside this condition, and then this closing tag should be inside this if. And if I save it, so we'll check if this product not exists, try to update the basket, otherwise try to just display this toast. If you go back again and try, let me just remove this one, go shopping, go same product, we add it first, say that it exists. Let's see what the error is here. So basically the error is this one, it return array. We need to say if the dot length is not exist, or for example equals 0, then it shows that error. So now we add it successfully, but if we try it again, then it should show the error. That now POM is working as we expect. So now we can implement the API approach. So basically we need to add inside this try, we need to add a condition first. Inside this condition, we'll check if this token is exist. We need to make sure the token is exist so we can authenticate the user. We can pass this token as a props down to this custom hook, so we can pass it later. We check if it exists, then try to call Axios. We need to import Axios. So we need to call Axios and then hit this endpoint, which is 1338 API/basket, and the second param is going to be the data, and this is the data that we need to save inside the basket API, and then we need to pass the header. So we need to pass the authenticated users, so this authorization to allow us to save this data. At the end, then we need, after saving this data, we need to call this update basket. So set update basket, we didn't create this state yet, let's just create it here. So that is just here, and then we'll call this one, and as a purpose of this one, we are going to create a function to get the basket data every time this update basket is updated to true. So this use effect here, we need to import use effect from React here, and inside we need to check again if the token exists, then try call this function get basket data, and we don't have this function, so we need to create it. So which is this function is going to be easy to explain and to understand. So this is get basket data, which will make a request using Axios get method to get this data from 1338 basket. We need actually to pass the header to here, so let me just bring the header. So because now even get should be allowed only for the authenticated user, so now then it will get the data, and after getting the data we'll update this set to false, so not to call this function anymore. Then after getting the data, basically we'll try to format the data, because the data will have IDs and attributes. So we format all the data to be inside this object, and then get using this data and just add it to this basket, update the basket with the new basket data. And here in catch, if there is any error, just try catch the error. And we need to update this here. So it's complaining to include this one inside use effect. We can avoid this issue but just by moving this function inside use effect outside the condition, and that now is fine. And now if we scroll down to this function to add a product, so that's it. Now after adding the product, we'll call this set update basket to true, which will update to get the latest basket data. And then else here, for example, if the user is not authenticated or if this token does not exist, try to use this approach to add the data to the basket without login. So again, this token here, if the user is logged in, we can use this one to save the data inside the database using the API. Otherwise, use the local state to update the local state. So now if you go to the browser and we need to log in, I need to create an account first. Let me create account. So I created account called Ali. Now I can log in. Now I logged in successfully, and also as you see here, logged in is not showing logged in. A log out so that needs just to load the browser, and now that's showing the log out. Now if I go to the basket and go to nothing there, let me add one of this product, and this successfully added. And let me add a different one with a different color that's successfully added. And now if I come to this basket here and reload the browser, should see the new item added. Seems if that's added to local host or added to the local state, and that's now it's disappeared. Let's go try see why the condition not working. So it seems this token is not passed down to this custom hook. So this we need to pass it down to this custom hook inside app. If we go to the app here, we need to pass this token, and the token basically will be this JWT. We need to update the order of this. Let's just move it after here, and we can actually now remove this console log. We don't need it. And now if you go back again and try again to add that product, successfully added, add this one with a different color, and go to the API or to the admin side, boom, that two product added to the basket. And now if we go to the app, go to the basket, if I reload the page, if you see now I'm reloading the page, still my product are exist. This product because saved inside the database. So if I logged out, so now I need to just update this log out button to refresh the browser. So if I just refresh manually, that's now, as you see, is disappearing. And instead of manually, we need, when you click on log out button, to just reload the browser, and also when you log in to reload the browser. How to do that? Let me just show you. So go to the code, go to login component, after line 34 here. So after redirecting to home page, just try to reload the browser, and also go to log out. So when also navigate to login, try to reload the browser, which using window.location.reload. That is simply it. So now if try to go to login, try login, and now automatically it's reloading the browser. I see my item in the basket. If I log out, now it's reloading the browser and the item disappearing from the basket. So that now I can log in and see my product. So next we need to also to update this product function, to update them inside the database. And also when I remove them, I can remove them from the database. If I click NAS, it should be this locally, just locally. It's happening. If I reload the browser, still is working. That even shouldn't be happen locally. Let's try go and update first remove to work with the authenticated user, and to remove this one also from the database. If we go back to this use basket, go to this remove one, remove from basket. This basically we need here inside this one. You need just add this condition. We need to add this condition. We need to check first this token is exists, then try to make access request to delete this product by using this endpoint 1338. And as I mentioned, this for my approach for my port, server port, but for yours it will be 1337. And then basket, and then you need to pass this basket item ID, so you can delete it. Delete this exact product. As I mentioned earlier, we pass this down, we use it only for the API, and we need to authenticate this one by using this token. And then at the end, just call this set basket update to get the latest basket data. And else basically we'll still use the old approach to just delete the local state, which is this one here. Just copy this one and add inside else. If we save it and go to the browser, so now if we remove this one, now that should be removed from the database. If I reload, that should be removed. If I go see here and reload this page, should see only one of this item. So that now is removing. Next we need to call the update to use the actual API endpoint, so which is going to be this function update basket item. Again, inside this one we need also to add this condition, and basically very similar. We'll check if the token exists, then we'll try to call this endpoint to just update this product with this ID by passing the color, size, image URL, quantity. And also we need to authorize this user at the end. Then we'll call update this state to update the basket data after the new data added or updated, and then else, and then after that, if not authenticated, we can just use the local state instead. If you save it and go to the browser, now we can update the size to meet, so that it's not working. Let's see why not working. I did a quick investigation. I found we didn't pass this header in correct position, so this header should be outside the data. Let's just comma after this here and save it, and need to open a curly braces. And then if you go to the browser again, let's try update the size. Boom, that's working now. So we see it's different size, and we can update the quantities, and that is updating total price automatically. So this using the database, and so if you go to this here, you can open it, and you can just try reload this one first and go here, and you see the quantity is 6 and size changed to L. If you go back again here, we can see size L, quantity 6. So if logged out, and this one, it will disappear, and now you can go to home page, and I can add a product as a user that doesn't have account, and this one too, for example, and can just basically go there and see my product, and also will be still able to edit them and edit the quantity and edit the size. So this is a two approach for this one. And so I noticed also one here, one small issue for this none. Let's see what is that. Local state update. If you go to this basket and go to the update, this quantity here, instead of this number, actually it should be just quantity. Let's remove this one. So that's why it was affecting the total price. And now if you try it again to update this one, should nothing happen. Let's try just save this here. We didn't save it, and come back again, just remove this one. Let's go try add one more, just come here and try update this one. So now we update the size is fine, updating the quantity, the total is fine. So that's the end of the tutorial. So we have two scenarios for users to add a product to the basket. If logged in, so the data will be saved on the database and the backend. Otherwise, if not logged in, you will just still be able to add a product to your basket. And the next step, you would just click this checkout and then finish the payment process, which you are going to do on the next tutorial. So if you did subscribe until now, don't forget to subscribe and share the content with your friends. So to support the tutorial, and press thumb up and leave your comment down, and thank you for watching, and see you in the very next tutorial.